Welcome to the Fantasy Thinker. I'm Jared Quartermatch, and today it's time for another episode of Lost Not Forgotten, number 4, I believe. And today we will be harkening back to the early days of second edition Dungeons and Dragons with the release of their brand new world and campaign called Dark Sun. As you can see behind me, I got the blazing light of the dark sun beaming down upon us now. These original novels were by Troy Denning as TSR, and he helped develop this Dark Sun world. And just a little background here. Athas is the name of this planet. It's a world blasted by magic, a dying world, once a verdant paradise of rivers, seas, and life. This brutal desert is nothing more than some barbaric shadow of that better world where mere survival is a high art form and death is everywhere. On this nearly endless sea of yellow-orange silt, temperatures blaze to 150 degrees under the relentless sun, then plunge to freezing or below in the dark of night. Sprinkled throughout the tablelands are city-states ruled by powerful sorcerer kings. These few enclaves are kept alive by the magic of their monarchs, who hold absolute power over their cities and their subjects. In the unforgiving space between can be found hardy nomadic herdsmen, fierce raiding tribes, scattered villages constantly on the edge of ruin, small and versatile hunting and gathering clans, and enigmatic hermits reveling in absolute solitude. Vying for the meager resources of Athas are humans, elves, dwarves, and halflings. In the city-states, man owns man, and some, like the dull-witted half-giant in the arena-bred mole, have little hope of living a single free day. And that is kind of the setting of Dark Sun. So originally, this novel was put out in 1991, and along with the campaign setting for the Dungeons and Dragons role playing game. And Troy Denning was the author chosen to bring this world to life, and he did so with a very uh, vivid descriptions of the setting and the land and all that went into it. And this Dark Sun, it kind of had a flavor of this setting. Kind of had a ancient like Babylonia Sumerian flavor to it with the way it ruled, and there's ziggurats and there's sorcerer kings, who rule over their people with an iron fist. And so originally there was 5 novels in this original. Prism Pentad was the name of the series, and these novels came out fairly quickly, from 91 to 93, so 5 novels in less than 3 years. That's a pretty good pace, but it was very well planned out, and it coincided, like I said, with the release of the campaign setting for the game. And they really brought forth something new and untried in the history of Dungeons and Dragons, because most of your Dungeons and Dragons settings were basically your medieval Europe type of setting. They had the world of Greyhawk, they had Dragonlance, and they had the Forgotten Realms, and those were they had different areas on those worlds where it would be different from your medieval Europe type of feel, but for the most part that's what those worlds centered around. This world was unique and fantastic when it came out because it just was totally different from anything they had done. And Troy Denning brought that out spectacularly in these books. He really, really brought the setting forth. He brought the sense of that real survival is everything. attitude towards life and how harsh this planet was. And so that is, the novels are worth reading just for that. Troy Denning is not the best at characterization, but he did a a fairly decent job. I like these books that he wrote much better than his Forgotten Realms novels. I thought he really took this setting by the reins and made the best of it, that he possibly could, and that it was fantastic to read about when they were coming out. It was one of the few books where I really, one of the few series from TSR at the time, which became eventually Wizards of the Coast. But it was one of the few series of novels where I just couldn't wait for the next one to come out. Whereas the other place setting novels they had for Forgotten Realms and Dragonlance, I was kind of like, oh, geez, another one came out already. I wasn't waiting for them. They were just coming out regularly, and so along with these five original novels, they came out with the you know Dark Sun campaign setting, and this is actually not the original box. This is the revised and expanded version box set. But I threw all the original stuff from the original box set because it kind of fell apart on me. We played this a lot when it came out. They even included a really cool, in the original box set, really cool cloth map that was just fantastic. I mean, what flavor to go along with a campaign setting. And this opening this box now is almost kind of like having a book haul, because it just reminds you of all the reference material that you had with these things. I even have old character sheets and just a lot of fantastic stuff. This was the original rule book that came in this box set, and what they did with this setting was fantastic, because they invented a couple of new races to go along with this setting, but they also invigorated some of the older races that they had, like dwarves, elves, humans, and halflings, into just something completely different. And they did it in a way that just made it so unique to gaming at the time. And they also introduced this concept of having a character tree. You basically had to create four characters to start with, because they suspected that some of your characters were going to die. That's how rough and harsh the original setting was meant to be. They wanted to give it that feel that life was fleeting in this setting, and that it would take a lot to survive, and it would take true heroes to really overcome all the obstacles, both physical and magical and environmental. This setting really has a heavy environmental theme going through it, and it's based upon magic that has destroyed basically everything in this world, and turned it into this huge desert where these city states are trying to survive. Um, the and the coolest thing about it is, and I'm not giving anything away here, the sorcerer kings who rule these city states are actually dragons. They can transform into dragons. And the dragons were so unique, and they were super intelligent. And I mean, they could wield magic like crazy, and they were very powerful magic, and they were really, they were like, these genius level creatures that could lay devastation and waste to whatever they wanted to. But there's a reason behind everything that they were doing too, and that becomes clear as the series moves on. So it wasn't just It wasn't complete megalomania that drove these dragon sorcerer kings to do what they did. And the story behind it is pretty fascinating. It's a really cool plot, and it's a really cool setting, unbelievable setting. And Troy Denning wasn't the only one who wrote some novels in here. There were some other ones that came out from Simon Hawke. Those I was kind of disappointed with. Eh, he didn't. I don't think he captured it the way Troy Denning did. And then there were also some novels in '94 to '95 that were put out by Lynn Abbey, and she wrote three books, kind of a trilogy in this Dachshund setting, even though it comes under the auspices of Chronicles of Athas, book one, book four, and book five. So I'm not sure why they label them like that. This really should have gotten its own label as its own trilogy because the characters carry over from one to the next, and um, the uh, the best one is the last one she wrote, "The Rise and Fall of a Dragon King," which um, details the rise of Hamanu, who's the Dragon King of one of the cities of Uruk, which it kind of reminds you of the old Babylonian Uruk, but so this was a really fantastic book. Probably one of my favorites in the whole, singly my favorite in the whole series. Um, but because Lynn Abbey is actually a really good writer, and she captured characters very well, and she also captured the setting that Troy Denning also put forth and set up, and she did a great job on those novels. So all told, I would recommend. Um, and there's a couple of others in the Chronicles of Athas, book two and book three, which were by somebody else. I don't remember who they were. And those were okay, but these really took the cake. And of course, the original ones by Troy Denning took the cake as well, and they ate it. Bad joke. But if you're going to read Dark Sun, these are the ones I would highly recommend, and just a good time all around. And if you ever play D&D and you want to play the old second edition Dark Sun campaign, that is a real trip as well, and outstanding. So that is my delve into the past here on Lost Not Forgotten number 4. I hope you enjoyed that, and be good to each other. Unlike this Dark Sun people, be good to each other. Thanks.